We are talking 14-6A, and we have Spring head coach Trent Miller with us. Wait, I didn't say that right. We have reigning coach of the year, Trent Miller, with us. I got to address you right. And we're talking 14-6A, and a lot of that has to do with the Spring ISD teams because they found their way to the top last year, and you guys had some epic games, including that Hail Mary game that really got everybody really hyped up about Houston football at the time. They were a little bit nervous because of COVID situation, what's going to happen. As soon as that Bishop Davenport to Travis Sims Hail Mary hit, it just sent everybody into full football mode. So talk about that game and talk about your district last year.
Man, that game is still kind of resonates in our community. Travis Sims, the one who caught that Hail Mary pass, we're talking about as a staff getting one of those Tupac shirts with Hail Mary on the back. It's something that, it hasn't really, when it starts getting quiet again, about, that game and, what transpired throughout the course of that game, it always gets brought up or somebody retweeted who's seen it for the first time on Twitter. It was an unbelievable play, by both the quarterback and Travis, and something that, that those kids, in this community will remember for a long time. Travis will remember for the rest of his life, Bishop for the rest of his life. I'll remember it, till the day I die, probably. It was a big-time statement game for our program. Throughout all of the COVID crisis and everything going on, it was exactly what our community needed, to uplift, everything going on in the world. And it was a big step for us of getting that monkey off of our back, and beating Westfield for the first time. And, man, I can't even remember how long. And it was great. It was great to do it with a bunch of those young kids. A lot of those young kids are coming back. I think we're going to end up returning, when it's all said and done, 18 starters, both offensively and defensively. And right now going through spring football, that's what we're trying to figure out right now of, who those depth guys are going to be and who those guys are going to be in those positions that we're losing for this next fall. But we're excited about it. 14-6A, as always, I think is going to be, pretty competitive. I won't sugarcoat it. I think, most people out there are going to say it's going to come down to us or Westfield again for the district championship. But I would not sleep on Decaney this year. Aldine Davis is putting together, some good things over there with Coach Joseph. Coach Slater over at Nimitz, every year is right there from getting over the hump and, doing something special, out there with Nimitz. Eisenhower's always scary. They always have freak athletes all over the field. And then, MacArthur, who got in the playoffs 2 years ago, is always a program that, they can sneak in and do some damage, throughout the district. So I'm equally as concerned with our non-district schedule as I am with our district schedule. I mean, we opened up with Fort Bend Travis, who is a program who's been, very successful with Coach Sissom over there for many years. And then, we go week 2 against Klein Oak, who, we went to war with twice this past season. And then week 3 with Tomball Memorial, who, got knocked off in the third round this past year against Cedar Hill. So we got a tough schedule, ahead of us for sure the first, 6 weeks of the season. So, we're looking forward to it. Hopefully we can stay healthy, keep kids, keep the nose clean, keep them out of trouble, and, hope for the best.
Go from there, right? You talk about bringing back 18 starters, but this 18 returners, and that's from a team that went pretty far last year. So you went 3 rounds. You went toe-to-toe with a very tough DeSoto team. It's got to bring all kinds of excitement. I mean, I can't even imagine what your off season's like, thinking about what you have coming back and how you performed the year before.
Oh, absolutely. This off season, it's been crazy for us. With where we're at, with our school district, being in Harris County, our off season looks a lot different than most schools or school districts around the state of Texas. We're very limited in what we can do with our athletes because of the lack of the amount of students that are on-campus learners. The majority of our kids are still off-campus learners, but we do a good job of getting them up here after school hours daily. And like I said, spring football has been great to get that excitement back up, going in the community and getting those kids up here. Like you said, we went toe-to-toe with DeSoto. We had a chance, walking into halftime with a 14-point lead. We felt good about it. Hats off to Coach Mathis over there at DeSoto. I think he woke up the sleeping beast on that defensive front they have, and there wasn't much we could do about it. But we're looking forward to that matchup again, round 3, hopefully this year, whether it be them or Duncanville or possibly even, I guess, Cedar Hill, if they end up going big school. I think our kids got a taste of what that type of football is really all about. And with the amount of starters we have coming back, I think we'll be better positioned when we get to, that level of play this year against that type of talent. So we're looking forward to it.
A couple players I want you to touch on for me. First of all, obviously, it's Bishop Davenport. He went into last season, I don't want to say an unknown, but he was creeping his way up, and he certainly made a name for himself. And now he'll be going into this year as one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the Houston area. And talk about what he brings to the table and how you've seen him mature over the years.
Sure. It's crazy because there are so many people that have said the same thing you just said about him being one of the top 2 or at worst case, the top 5 quarterbacks in the greater Houston area. The recruiting trail for him has been very, very quiet. He's picked up an offer from Texas Southern, and that's pretty much it. He's had some recognition from some other, Power 5 or Group of 5 schools, but no one's really bid on him. A lot of that has to do with COVID and the transfer portal, and not being able to, for coaches to come see him in person. But it's been rough for him, through this whole process. But it's also, I believe, it's going to be a blessing in disguise because it's made him that much more hungry and that much more aggressive in how he's attacked this offseason. Bishop is an unbelievable young man. I'll go on record as saying he's the best quarterback I've had the privilege of coaching in my high school coaching career. He can make the throws that most kids at even the collegiate level, in my personal opinion, can't make. He's a coach on the field. He gets us in and out of bad play calls with what defenses are giving us. He's just a complete student of the game. He's always in the office, always looking for ways to improve his game, to sit down and analyze our plays, our system, and and what works and what doesn't work against certain defenses or fronts or coverages or whatever. And he's just a kid that you have to force him to go home. He's always looking for somebody up here to throw the ball around with. If there's guys up here that don't even go to school here or who have graduated or go to school at different high schools, if they're up here getting work in, he wants to go out there and get work with them. Just an all-around unbelievable human being.
I'll tell you what, with 18 returners, I can't wait for the season to start. I can't wait for this district play to start. And I definitely can't wait for the spring Westfield game because that's going to be off the hook yet again. So I appreciate you joining us, and good luck throughout the season.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time. Thank you.